Hey guys, what's up? How's my YouTube family and friends? Uh, got some plywood out here. Um, First video, newish camera. Let me know what y'all think. Um, got me some plywood out here, and I had to buy a 24 by 48, which I really didn't want a 24 by 48. I wanted a 24 by 24 because some of this might go to waste. But I'm building a platform for my new boat. Um, I don't have the boat together. I can show you the frame here in a minute when I pull it out to test fit this board. I bought it used. Actually, I bought two of them. Bought them used. They're a one-man Colorado XT fishing boat. And should have been filming all this all along throughout this whole process. But dummy me gets busy and gets working and forgets about filming. That's a bad thing. But I'm cutting me a little platform to put over there by the seat, and I'll show y'all here in a minute when I pull the frame out. I've been disassembling the frame, sanding it, painting it, because it is 4 years old, 5 years old. And I'm fixing it up to where I like it. So I'm going to drill some holes in there, so I'll have some round right there at the front. And then I'm going to finish cutting that, and I'll drag that frame out and show y'all what the frame looks like, and then I'll put a picture of what the actual boat looks like in the video because I don't have the boat assembled. And I'll also show you that they had the trolling motor mounted on the front, and I didn't like that procedure at all. I'll show you what they did, how they had it mounted, and I'm doing some painting, sanding, and I'm trying to get this boat ready for a fishing trip. First time use. I think I'm really going to like it. So let me get busy and I'll get back to you here in a few. So guys, here's the frame to my Colorado XD boat. For y'all to get the, let me scoot back so you don't see it. For y'all to get the full effect, you're going to have to see the pictures. But there's a pontoon that goes there, a pontoon that goes there, and a seat that goes there, and then the transit for the trolling motor. And what I did is I cut me a board to go around that seat because it has excuse me guys, it has a net that goes around there, and I don't like the net. And besides, some of my bait I have to cut, so I need a board that I can cut some of my bait on. We're talking an inflatable boat here. You probably not wise to cut on top of the pontoons. I might sink. So let me put that board down there and I'll show you what my plan is and how I'm going to do it. Oopsie. I had a fail. I didn't go deep enough with my cut, but measure twice, cut once. Well, I measured twice, cut once, and Stella, get out of there. Psst, get out of there. What is the puppy doing walking on it? But anyway, I need to measure that and see how much more deeper I need to cut. That's my bad. I didn't realize that our frame, see that seat, it's adjustable. And I want that seat fairly close to the front of the vessel. Because out here, it has footrests and they're adjustable. So I do want the seat a little bit further forward. Maybe not that much forward, but a little bit farther forward because it's on a 7-inch pedestal, and so I'll have 7 inches above, so I can cast pretty much 360 degrees. So let me remeasure and do some more cutting. Haha. Okay guys, like I said, measure 4 times, get it right the third time. Did that make any sense? Probably not. That's how I want it right there. I got to have a little bit of overhang over that bottom bar because I'm not going to drill any holes in this thing. I'm going to try to keep it as factory as possible. So if I ever decide to sell these, somebody else can buy them and not hurt the integrity of this boat at all. So that's what I want. And then I'll go get me some Thought I had some, but I don't. I need some 1.5-inch conduit hangers, and I'll go from the bottom. I'll flip it up on its side, and I'll mark where I need to drill, and I'll put me a couple bolts with nuts, some rounded top nuts. I forgot, or bolts. I forgot what those are called. Some rounded tops through there, and clamp that down. And I don't know if y'all can see it in the camera or not, but the piece of wood I bought is bowed this way. And when I clamp it down, it should pull it straight. Now, I'm not going to leave that board like that. I'm fixing to wipe it down. And I'm going to put 3 or 4 good coats of black paint on it. And then I'm going to put some Thompson water seal on top of that. So my whole idea here is they got a 3-pole foam fishing pole holder that I'm going to mount on the left side, so my fishing poles can be hanging off on the left side, so when I get up on there I can turn around and sit down. I'll probably only use 2 slots in that whole 3-pole fishing thing, because I'll probably only take 2 poles out on the water with me at all times. That's for Oklahoma. You only can have 2 poles in the water, so there's no point in taking any more poles with me. Then on the right side, I might eventually get me a depth finder and mount it on that board on the right side up towards the front. But that gives me a whole bunch of area that was pretty much useless on this boat. Dang it, I got y'all out of frame again. Pretty much useless out of the boat because it had a net there, but you couldn't really store anything on that net. So behind the seat, I have all that area to store something on. And let me show you what rod holder I'm talking about. See, they make this type of rod holder. It holds 3 fishing poles. I'm pretty sure that it has a front part too, but I'm gonna try to find something like that to mount on that board. And there's the footrest. I cleaned them up yesterday, and I've sprayed them down with some rust reformer. I'm fixing to mask them off again, and when I spray that board, I'm gonna go ahead and put a fresh coat of glossy paint on there. I hate powder coat, and that's what this thing is powder coat. And I just want to clean it up and make it look new as possible. Spray paint ain't too expensive, it's cheap. But yeah, those footrests go in that hole right there, and I can adjust them. So as soon as I get those painted, and this whole thing comes totally apart, so you can store it on a shelf or whatever. Only other thing that concerns me about this thing is they have it where the transit, you can mount the trolling motor on the right side or the left side. They don't have anything that you can mount it in the center. And I'm probably not going to use that weight anchor when I'm out in the water. So I might have to drill some holes to move that to the center. Or I could try it on the right hand side and see if the boat will actually go straight. A whole bunch of this I won't know until I get it out in the water and see how it does. And I won't need that long old cord for the trolling motor anymore. I could plug it straight into the battery. A lot of people on these boats, and I can show you on the other frame in my messy shop, they use a footrest and they use PVC and put the trolling motor in the front, because the back tends to get heavy with the battery and the trolling motor on the back. Well, what I'm going to do, try to prevent the heaviness in the back, is I'm going to scoot the seat further forward, because I have all that room with those footrests, and I want to be sitting. I want to be sitting pretty close to the front of the boat, because at some lakes I'm going to have flippers on and be kicking like the old water wagons. You mounted a motor on the back, and then you use flippers once you get around in the water. And flippers keep you moving, kind of like you're trolling. And if I just want to troll, then I can take my flippers out of the water, kick them up on the footrest, and just troll around and fish. So I've got to paint that board. I'm going to do that next. I got to clean up a whole bunch of zip ties I have all over this thing. I do need to go buy some carabiners, because I want to put a rope in between the front two pontoons so I can have I'm going to take an anchor with me so I can throw it on land, so I can just carabine it to the middle of that rope, and then my boat won't go out overnight when I'm sleeping, because you don't want to chase a boat across the lake. It's not fun. So let me start getting that painted, get the first couple coats on there. I'm going to paint those footrests, and I'll show you what these kind of look like after they dry. And what else do y'all want to know? Oh, let me show you what an old water wagon is if y'all hadn't ever seen one. Okay, guys, it's kind of hard to do, but that, and I hope y'all can see this, that's an old water wagon. Basically, that's a newer design of this boat. This boat is not mine. It's borrowed. I can use it anytime I want to, but if anybody else wants to use it, I need to deliver it or they come get it. But it's made out of styrofoam, and it's kind of the same concept. It has a transit on the back. You put that 3.3 horse motor on it, and then you stick your feet down in the water up here where I have everything neatly stacked, and you stick your feet up and you use the flippers to turn you, because the motor is locked. And this just reminded me, that has that fish measuring thing. I'm going to have to find me one of those so I can put it on that board too. I will want one of those. And see, there's the flippers you use. The flippers are borrowed, the boat's borrowed, the motor's borrowed, and I got the seat around here somewhere, and it's borrowed. So none of this is mine, but if y'all never seen an old water wagon, that's what it looks like. And I've caught several fish off of that thing, but that's only about 6 feet long, and the pontoons on that's going to be 9 feet long. So this is going to be a little bit more stable in the water, a little bit more roomier for this tall guy like me. So as soon as I get that boat ready, I'm going to load all this up, take it back to its original owner, all of it but maybe the flippers. I might have to borrow the flippers. And then there's my 2 trolling motors. Like I said, I bought 2 boats the other day. There's my trolling motors, both of my trolling motors. And I don't know how well y'all can see this. I'm not going to pull this frame outside, but here's the footrest pole, and it comes around and it goes into the PVC right here. Oops, my hand's blocking it. Then the same thing on that side. Then they zip tie this to the boat on the front, and they make this pole for a new footrest. And then they mount the trolling motor up there and can do everything from front. That's not what I want. Period. End of quote. I don't want it like that. So I want the trolling motor in the back. Probably on the right side. I'll probably lock it where it just goes straight, unless I want to play with it. It won't bother me a bit to reach back there and turn myself if I need to turn. If I have any issues with it after the first time out, I'll get me some strap and just make that one piece on the back. If you can see it, there's a strap there and a strap there. I'll just make that one piece solid, weld it in, and then drill me a couple holes and repaint it. And that way that you can put the trolling motor in the middle, right, left, or right side. And let me get back to that front transit that they put on there. A lot of people say that this rack, when you get the battery back here and the trolling motor on here, it tends to be back heavy. And they don't like their stuff in that basket getting wet. Well, you're fishing. You're going to get wet. Your stuff's going to get wet. I know you don't want a whole bunch of water in your tackle or anything, but that's another reason I'm going to pull that seat you know, just a little bit forward to counterbalance it. And then I bet a bunch of those people that complaining about the stuff getting wet don't have the right air pressure in the pontoons. And this video is starting to get long. I'm starting to get long-winded. So I'm going to paint that, show you what that looks like after I lay it down again. And we're going to try to get this video shorter. Okay, guys. I got about 5 coats of paint on this top of this board. I'm going to go in there and cook me some lunch. I'm going to let it cure for about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to flip it over and put 5 coats on the bottom. I got about 7 coats around those edges. And then I want to buy some Penetrol anyway, so I can do my 67. I think I'll wipe this down with the Penetrol too. As watertight as I can get it. The better. And then when I drill my holes to mount the stuff, I'm probably going to take something. I hadn't made up my mind yet. Maybe some silicone. Soak those bolts in silicone before I squeeze them down there, or something to water seal the holes. I guess I could drill my holes and spray paint inside the holes and then use silicone. That might be the best option. But that's what it's looking like so far. I'm going to go cook me some lunch. And then I'm going to let that cure. Then I'll paint the other side. Then I'll show you what's on the boat, how it looks on the boat.